Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.
Hello and a warm welcome to you, and it's nice to have you on Enterprise Friday on Enterprise TV. I am Henry Igwebike. In just a bit, we will be moving straight to our newspaper headlines, and right after that, we would be going to our main conversation for the morning. But just before we do all of that, as it's prepared for you and only you, I would love you to please do visit our website at enterprisetvnews.com, and also like, comment, and follow on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. Subscribe to our YouTube channel also at Enterprise TV 7. With me in the studios to help us peruse the newspaper headlines this morning is Emeka Madunagu. He is a journalist and a public affairs analyst. You're welcome.
Thank you very
to Enterprise
much.
Friday today. Good morning to you. All right, so let's start off with the first daily we have, and it's coming from the Vanguard newspaper. And the big story there says Edugate. APC governors Peter Obi backs Tinubu on probe. And the writer there says governors ask Nigerians to be patient, says Tinubu would take a final decision after investigation, as APC professionals support presidential move to send a strong signal to governors and officials. Don't spare anybody, Peter Obi tells Tinubu. And on the top slip of the same newspaper, we have no grief for anybody. Lawyers fault police caution as army adopt slogan to fight insurgents. And on the downslip of the same newspaper, we have new bank CEOs will boost confidence. NECA, ASSBIFI analyst and 32-year-old bank staff commits a suicide over harsh economy. Governor Alia bars local government chairman from leaving their domain. Emeka, let's talk a bit about this issue of Edugate. Of course, it's been a recurrent issue and a recurrent news, rather, on our dailies. And it seems to me like the APC are becoming comfortable when they know that Peter Obi is tilting towards what they perceive as the right direction, from what I see from our headline news today.
No, it's not. Okay, thank you. It's not about Peter Obi tilting. You know the kind of person Peter Obi is. You know what he stands for. You know what he believes. And you can see that the APC administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been copying ideas from Peter Obi's manifesto. This is what Peter Obi has been talking about: dismantling the criminality in government. What we've been talking about. People just feel that they can dip their hands into the treasury and take money anyhow without any fear of consequences. I think Peter Obi has only now come out to tell them, you see, this is what I've been talking about. But you people feel that it's about the paddy government. And then now you can see it has blown up in your faces to the extent that people are now stealing from the poor. And I'm surprised that the APC governor saying they are backing Tinubu. Look, they are even worse. Their own thievery is even worse. Yes, because they are supposed to be in charge, in possession of social registers. Actually, this is an intervention fund. Yes, initiated as a joint initiative between the federal government and the World Bank. But the point is that the states ought to by now have taken over the management of that fund. Why should we have a Ministry of Humanitarian and Disaster Management when you have state governments? You have a National Emergency Management Agency. Why do you need a ministry to handle that? So the point is that You see, when an administration does not believe that it should walk the talk, then people who know the right things that should be done will now remind them. And that is what Mr. Peter Obi has done commendably well.
Now, humorously, let's go to this other story. No grief for anybody. Lawyers fault police caution as army adopt slogan to fight insurgency. It seems to me that the Nigerian police are outwardly, scared or jittery about this new slogan by youth demography. I guess they're trying to hope it wouldn't be the NSAS slogan that metamorphosed to something they never thought would get to that level. Do you think so?
Do you see, when I read what the police spokesman said, I laughed. He said intelligence report. Intelligence report won't tell you where headsmen are killing people in Benue and Plateau. Intelligence reports won't tell you about your men who are rogues, criminals, armed robbers in the police. They won't tell you about that. You're talking about a common slogan. You see, these people are still steeped in that colonial mentality. That's why you see all of them should go for regular refresher trainings, refresher courses, so that they can be in line with 21st century policing practices. You see, every society moves with slangs. It's informal usage of the English language, but these are things also that define certain moments, epochal moments in every society. So, you see, when you say no grief for anybody, what it means is that reject the things that did not allow you to progress last year. Don't let them. And if you went to every church, every mosque, that was what was being preached. The mistakes you made last year, don't repeat them this year. I even saw a variation, no grief for poverty this year. So what is he talking about?
Exactly.
I tell our police spokesman needs to go back to school.
True.
That statement he made was very embarrassing. Because not an illiterate. He ought to have gone to get better informed and told those intelligence people that they should go and find work to do. There are places where people are vandalizing pipelines. Crimes are being committed. Instead of you to go and deal with those ones, you are bothering yourself about what excites the people. I mean, it only shows that these people still think that because you're putting on a uniform, you are better than the average Nigerian. By the way, who needs a police force? Who needs a police force? Nigerians have said we need a Nigeria police, not a Nigeria police force. That word force intoxicates many of their members and makes them think they should breathe down on Nigerians. You're supposed to be a service. It's supposed to be a service, a security service. What are we talking about? A lot of the work of the police has been taken over by other agencies, even by vigilantes. Lagos State has Lagos Neighborhood Security Corps. In Ogun State, you have vigilante, you have So Safe, you have vigilante group of Nigeria. In different parts of, in the north, you have the civilian JTF. In different places. So these are
responsibilities.
In parts of the southwest, you have Amoteco. In Ogun State, you have vigilante. These people risk their lives. They go into the dens of kidnappers to rescue their victims. They combat all vandals and sundry criminals. They are poorly paid, ill-equipped, poorly trained. But the police that are captured in yearly budgets, instead of them to go and deal with these issues, have the intelligence to deal with these issues, it's talking about no grief for anybody. It's just, to me, see, people are just pathetically lazy and underwhelming. That is why you see the country is this way. I mean, what is it that likely to cause any problem? You know within yourselves that you have rogue elements in the police who are giving the police a bad name. Why not work hard and remove them? Refine your system, refine your processes, so that you remove all those who are giving you a bad name. And you see Nigerians will embrace the police, Nigeria police. and everything will be well. But when you just come say no grief for anybody, do you want me to agree for that? Now the army,
Yeah,
the military,
army, of course.
so let them go and arrest the military. You see, people don't. These people should undergo psychological training, psychoanalysis, to better, and then they should go out often. The IG, commissioners of police, AIGs, DIGs, they should leave the comfort of their office and go out often. Go to the streets. Go and relate with the people. Relate with the youths. Go to university campuses. What stops the IG, for instance, from going to the University of Abuja? Put on a t-shirt and jeans with a cap.
And just go have a one-on-one.
Sit down with the students and say, look,
their problems.
Tell the security men, just you stay in the background. I don't want guns and all these things around. Let's talk. Students, let's talk. What are the problems? You will have, you see, they will embrace you. And they will talk to themselves that, let's cooperate with the police. But when you just sit down in your high office, and what you are doing, you are sending policemen to harass ordinary citizens. Like the embarrassing case of the IG allegedly overruling a court order and sending policemen to arrest a lady in a matter involving the lady and a company. These are the things we say we no longer want in our country. The rule of law must be enthroned. You cannot continue to breathe down on our necks. Let us breathe. These are leaders should allow Nigerians to breathe.
Very, very true. Right now, let's go to the second daily we have, and it's coming from the Guardian newspaper, and the big story there says renewed hope agenda after honeymoon, tales of war, frustration trail Tinubu's policies, and we have the image of what seems to be a disparity or a comparison, between what our leaders are doing as it reflects on the Nigerian people. And on the bottom slip of the same newspaper, we have school banks orders short as Supreme Court decides Kano governor, female banker commits suicide in Ikorodu, blames economic hardship, and terrorists kill community head, 9 others abduct women in Katsina. Emeka, isn't this becoming shameful that in home state of our former president Buhari, that we are still having terrorists, rampaging and doing all sorts? What is happening?
Nigeria has porous borders. So you have Katsina. Katsina is one of the states on Nigeria's border with Niger Republic. So you have a lot of these bandits moving across the borders, kidnapping and causing mayhem. So that matter needs to be addressed through a joint approach between Nigeria and Niger Republic. Of course, currently Niger Republic is under sanctions from ECOWAS, so the regional bloc. So it's to be expected that sundry criminals and terrorists will take advantage of any such problems to cause security breaches.
But Buhari has been there for 8 years. Why hasn't he?
It's not about Buhari. It's not about Buhari. Look, the point is this: the economy is bad. A lot of people are unemployed. Small arms are in the hands of so many Nigerians. And the economy in the last almost 9 years has been badly mismanaged. So that has thrown a lot of people into crime, thrown a lot of people out of jobs. And so that's why you see this problem persisting. You see terrorism persisting, you see crime persisting. So government has to deal with the socio-economic issues. You must get as many people as possible out of the labor market, out of underemployment. You must get as many people as possible working. You cannot expect that people will just sit back waiting for manna to fall from heaven. I mean, the removal of subsidy was badly managed. The floating of the naira as well was badly managed. There are procedures to handling these things. But you see, the problem with some of these people is this ego tripping. They get into office and they get carried away by the powers attached to their offices. So it's not about service to Nigerians, but about overlordship of Nigerians. And that's where their policies are just a mumbo jumbo. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It's really, really unfortunate. Tinubu's policies in the last 8 or 9 months have been a disaster. He never thought out any of these policies. Go and look at his manifesto. The same Tinubu in Abuja said he will not remove fuel subsidy. The same Tinubu said that Buhari's government was bringing out policies, that were making Nigerians to suffer. What is going on now? More Nigerians are suffering. And
even said, let the poor breathe. He was the one that made the statement.
Tinubu, let me tell him, he is strangulating Nigerians. He is even worse than Buhari. Because, look, under Buhari, yes, I know Buhari was a disaster. But Buhari still had some restraint. Yes, Buhari had a way of, using absence to create some form of presence.
True.
Buhari's people will tell you, the president is not aware.
He's not aware.
He's not aware. But you will not see that they will quickly brainstorm and take certain measures.
Fill the blank spaces.
But what do you find here? Somebody just went, on air to say subsidy is gone. You don't do that. You don't do that. Will you just in your home, just when you and your family are seated at the dinner table and say, look, meat is gone from the diet, no more meat. Of course, your children will use you for meat now.
Yes. Will revolt.
Not to talk of over 200 million Nigerians. There must be empathy. There must be intelligence quotient. We must use intelligence quotient. We must use, we must try to, feel what the people are feeling. And the people are really suffering. These things are avoidable. Let the president use his powers instead of sharing rights to people. Assist, like I said, a lot of, if you empower SMEs,
real SMEs,
yes, if you empower SMEs, you will see they will take in a number of people. SMEs doing a number of things, doing different things. They will empower a lot of people. But when the big companies are exiting Nigeria, what do you expect the SMEs to do? So that's why I even said, I said it on TV program, I said, while we are busy looking for foreign investors, let's also try to encourage the local investors.
Who are already doing the little that they can.
I have a friend, Procter & Gamble. The same week that Procter & Gamble left, a friend of mine started a factory in this FMCG sector, producing so many of the things that Procter & Gamble was producing. Yes. Wow. So there are people like that. If you encourage, just imagine if you encourage like 1,000
of those
or 5,000, and each employs a minimum of 10 people. Imagine 5,000 times 10. Is that not 50,000 Nigerians out of the labor market? And then there's this assumption that for each Nigerian salary earner, there are 5 dependents. So if you have 50,000 employed by these SMEs, 50,000 multiplied by 5 dependents, that's 250,000. Imagine removing 250,000 people from unemployment. You will see the ripple effects. We'll talk of it, touch other areas, the big companies too, the big companies that employ people in their thousands. You also try to get them. Because the major problem for those big companies is repatriating their money. It's not about insecurity. They can take care of that. It's not about power supply. Yes, power is a problem, but they're able to take care of themselves. A lot of those things, companies have been able to find a way around those things. but repatriating their money.
But why is the CCBN making it them too difficult?
There's no money. There's no foreign exchange. That's the problem. We borrowed $3 million from Afrexim. Where has it gone to? Where has the money gone to? How far can it go? You are owing airlines alone $1 billion of their sales tickets. They cannot repatriate this money. They can't take this money back to their home countries. And for some of these foreign investors, they take loans from banks in their countries.
Oh, okay. To come invest in Nigeria.
To come and invest in Nigeria. And then they cannot return them. So how are they going to pay back those loans? So that's why you see they just pull out. And go to smaller countries. Go to Ghana and some of these countries.
Even if they know it's not comfortable because the market is not as large as
you see, there is nobody
expect.
who wants to finish. You don't see any market woman who wants to finish selling and then shut shop at the end of the day without going home with at least 5,000 naira with some cash. No market woman will tell you, everything I sold today was on credit. You see her in tears now. So at least so these people want to have some of their money back to their home countries. So that is one major problem in our economy today. So I think government should get serious. Government should get serious and find a way to address this forex shortage problem. Yes, you know.
And what do you think our foreign reserves? What how is it looking?
Oh, you see, the foreign reserves under Buhari, they were just playing politics, playing voodoo politics with our foreign reserves, telling you, oh, the reserves have gone up, blah blah. All that is just a joke. Look, let me tell you something. You can ramp up your foreign reserves by increasing local production and export. That is it. A lot of big ships come into Nigeria, big aircraft come into Nigeria with goods and leave empty. Is it supposed to be like that? I'm a businessman. Sometimes you want to hire a trailer to carry goods to a destination, and they will tell you, okay, if it is Lagos to Abuja, we will go immediately. Because we know that when we get to Abuja, or we get to Kano, or we get to Port Harcourt, we will see goods to bring back. It's a two-way thing. But look at the situation where big aircraft land at Murtala Mohammed Airport. Cargo aircraft, they discharge cargo, and they are going back empty.
Take back.
You see big ships, they bet at Apapa Port. You don't even have Lekki Deep Sea Port. They bet there. They offload rice and all those things. And there is nothing
to
take back. How do you grow the economy like that? So that's why I keep saying that government should sit down and develop a Marshall Plan to create jobs for at least 20 million Nigerians in the next 6 months. Nigerians must produce anything. Do you know that if you go on Amazon, if you go online, you will see this chewing stick. Chewing stick. It's called organic toothbrush, and it's $2. It's $2 on Amazon. Chewing stick.
Wow.
I boarded a bus the other day. One woman was sitting beside me, carrying chewing sticks. And I'm looking at this woman. I was just saying, look at this woman doesn't know
the cash.
She doesn't know what she's carrying.
The value of what she has.
She doesn't know what she's carrying. I was trying to count the chewing sticks.
How many?
Times $2 each. There are a lot of things. Do you know fufu? Do you know fufu? The fufu we know is now a delicacy in many countries.
True.
Yes. I have a friend in Canada.
Bugari too, and all.
I'm telling you, I have a friend in Canada who says that if I can get people that will be supplying these African delicacies in large quantities, but I don't want to put myself into it, because the thing with these people is that when you start, you must have a plan to supply, keep supplying for the next 2 to 5 years regularly. But we don't have the capacity. Let government get Nigerian graduates, put your degrees aside. We are talking about hunger. Degrees will not put food on your table. Put your degrees aside. Let us all go into agro-processing. Agro-processing. Let us increase the number of tractors in our farms so that we can produce so much cassava. Do you know that you have a lot of companies now exporting cassava for use, in producing ethanol. And we can't meet demand. A bag of gawuwa is about 25,000 naira.
Yeah.
Why? Because those farmers, once they have is almost ready, they'll just go to those companies and say, CEO, Oga, my cassava is almost ready.
So they wouldn't even go through the trouble of even have. If sometimes the companies come to their farms to harvest
The
something.
company will just look at the farm, estimate what is there, and pay them the money, cash, pay them, transfer to their accounts. And that's it. So we must do more of this. A top telecoms executive in Nigeria relocated to Canada and started producing agege bread. So what is in agege bread? They have bread over there. But you see, there are a lot of things we have here that the world doesn't know about, that the world needs. So we need to actually look, it's as urgent as yesterday. We need to do something.
Exactly. So, all right, let's go to our next daily, and this is coming from the Punch newspaper, and the big story there says Union Polaris, a keystone, the CBN plans shareholders summit, compiles new directors list, and the writer there says Apex Bank to discuss bank's future with stakeholders, new chairman, EDS to be named soon. On the top slip of the same newspaper, we have tension in Kano as Supreme Court decides Yusuf's fate today, and Humanitarian Ministry, EFCC summons 20 directors and orders. And on the downslip of the same newspaper, we have Lagos NBA protesters storm police headquarters over brutality against lawyers. Widows of soldiers killed in 1992 plane crash demand compensation. Emeka, let's dig deep on this issue of widows of soldiers killed in 1992 plane crash still demanding for compensation. When it seems like we are casting our stones on our leaders, political leaders that is. It seems to me that the issue, floats around. It's equally affecting the military also, because it is still disturbing why, since 1992, widows of soldiers killed in plane crash are still to get their compensation.
That's the sad thing about Nigeria. That's the sad thing about how things are done here. Successive governments will tell you, we've settled our benefits, we've settled our pensions, we've settled gratuities. But along the line, some people will appear and tell you government is still owing them. So why don't we just use technology to do some of these things? Use technology to sort out some of these things. Get everybody that ought to get pension gratuity. Get them together. We have the pension system. Why not capture some of these people in a scheme? There's a scheme for the military. Capture them and pay them. It's so bad. These people lost their breadwinners in a horrible plane crash. Then at least the little money they can get, at least to keep body and soul together, you don't give it to them. Come on, what do you call that?
And how do you think this will affect the morale of, those who are in the battlefield? That
is it. That is it. I believe, I won't be surprised if the widows of those, the victims of that plane crash have been thrown out of the barracks. So that is the society we have in Nigeria. That's why we say we want a society that promotes good governance, society anchored on the rule of law, a society that demonstrates empathy. See, look at some of these countries like Scandinavian countries. They are not richer than Nigeria in terms of natural resources. But you see, they add a lot of human elements, that sympathy, that empathy in dealing with their people. That's why they are the richest nations, the happiest nations in the world. Because they look at the human being, they know the human being needs to operate in certain basic conditions to function optimally. But you keep all these things and then you keep, pretending to be unable to solve basic problems. It's not good. We should rise above all these petty things. Let them immediately pay people. Pay those widows their money. Because it's even a sin against God. Whoever is behind those things, is a sin against God.
1992.
And they should also remember they too have wives and children. It's wickedness. Let me say clearly. 1992 to now.
Over 30 years.
What are we talking about? It's just wickedness. The Chief of Army Staff today should please immediately, this morning, ensure that the Military Pensions Board settles these women. Let them settle them. In compensation or whatever, settle them. If somebody is close to the president, let him whisper to the president that, look, settle them. Because these are the things that attract the wrath of God. It's wickedness. It's plain wickedness. There's no other way to describe it.
All right, let's take a jab finally on this particular story. Lagos NBA protesters storm police headquarters over brutality against lawyers. Do you feel a bit of sympathy for lawyers?
That's not what I was saying earlier. That is it.
No win.
That's what I was saying earlier.
No.
The psyche of the Nigeria police needs to be reviewed. So a lot of these police officers don't even know that they're rendering a service to the society. They are not overlords. How can they look at the DPO who said the lawyer should be a lawyer came to get bail for his client. You say he should be detained. I mean, who are you? Who are you? No, let's look at it. Who are you? Listen, if you take all Nigerians who are 18 right now and train them in arms handling and all that, they will just arms handling in the next 3 months. You will sack the entire Nigeria police. That's the truth. What I'm talking about, I want to believe that people within that age range of 18 to 20, out of 200 million Nigerians, you will get nothing less than 50 to 60 million Nigerians within that age range. Train them in weapons handling. They will replace Nigeria police. Why do you think because you wear a uniform and carry arms, then you can brutalize Nigerians? Why? This thing should stop. We've been talking about this again and again and again and again and again. The police, they set up human rights desks. But those human rights desks are as worse as the police themselves. Because I had an encounter with one of the human rights desks, and I was really appalled. Asking for bribe. You're supposed to be defending the human rights of somebody who was wrongly accused. You are asking them to go and bring 200,000. I looked at these people. Do you know that God will judge you for all these things? Do these people realize that God will judge them, that they will pay for all these things? Whatever we are doing, let us always realize the fact that you have power, you have weapons and carry weapons and all that, there must be a high sense of responsibility in whatever you do.
Exactly. Very, very, very true. Well, that's just about the time we have for our newspaper reviews today. I'd love to say thank you to Emeka Madunagu for being part of our show today. So when we come back, but on a very sad note, a female banker commits a suicide in Lagos over hardship and the grueling economy. More in a bit when we come back. Please don't go anywhere.